Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We thank you for joining us. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. The Presidential Election Petition Tribunal is about now delivering its ruling on the application made by the People's Democratic Party that Justice Zainab Bukachua stands aside as the chairman of the Election Tribunal. Arguments were taken earlier in the day, after which the president of the Court of Appeal then adjourned for ruling. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari says the outgoing members of the Federal Executive Council have every reason to be proud of serving the nation to the best of their abilities, thereby guaranteeing their position in the history books of the country. Speaking at a valedictory session for the council members, the president appreciated them individually and collectively for bringing their unique skills and strengths to bear in building solid foundation for an improved economy as well as a more purposeful government.
I want you all to leave this meeting proud to have served your nation to the best of your ability. You should be proud to have been part of the government that liberated the local governments previously under Boko Haram rule. You should be proud to have contributed to our food security and economic diversification agenda, which led to the revival of our rural agrarian economy. You should be proud to have been part of the team that developed the economic recovery and growth plan. You should be proud to have introduced the social investment program that enhanced livelihoods of millions of Nigerians. You should be proud to have participated in settling outstanding pensions of many senior citizens abandoned by previous governments, while supporting state governments to meet their salary arrears. Of course, you should all be proud to have overseen the most ambitious road, rail, and airport rehabilitation programs in the history of our country.
This has been an exceptionally patriotic and talented team. Everyone brought experience, knowledge, wisdom, and selflessness to council deliberations at all times. I treasure the friendships that we have built amongst ourselves and even amongst our family members in the last 4 years. I pray that you will all go from glory to glory, that you will never fail or fall. And as we end this term of council, I pray that the Lord who has guided us this far will be our help in the years to come, in Jesus' name.
Ministers who are expected to continue working until Tuesday, the 28th of May, thanked the president for giving them the opportunity to serve the country at the highest level. Now, the Senate has called on the federal and state governments to work together and produce workable strategies that will stop the increasing cases of killings in rivers and other states. Ignatius Unko has more from the Red Chamber.
Was raised on the floor by Senator Andrew Chendo. There are two other motions that were not debated. They also centered on security challenges in the country, and then senators actually in their wisdom raised some motions. And with us here is Chairman Senate Committee on Media and Publicity, Senator Sabi Abdullahi. He's here to tell us, well, some of the importance of the resolutions on that motion. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you very much. I think this motion, just like so many others in the past, borders on the issue of insecurity. And I think the idea of discussing this is simply to put it in the front burner. And if you look at the fact that, of course, Rivers State is the treasure base of the nation, restoring peace in that particular state is something that must be given top priority. And that is why we are saying the federal government, though APC and the state government, PDP, there is need for them to work together in the interest of our citizens.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, yes, the Senate also passed for third reading the bill that seeks to establish the Federal Audit Service Commission. The senator that presented that report on that bill is Senator Matthew Orugide. He wants to tell us more on the content of that bill. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, that bill has been passed, and it's been passed before. So tell us why the passage, the reconsideration again.
We had passed it to Mr. President, and the whole idea really is that the decadence that we've had over the years for federal establishments, agencies, corporations, public-owned, agencies of government, including courts, including embassies, they are all supposed to audit their accounts. If you look at the Own Establishment Act, it says that 6 months into the financial year, you should audit your account. What was given to you by way of appropriation, before you get the next appropriation, you're supposed to get your account audited. Many of them, 15 years, 20 years, some of them, 30 years, they have not audited their account. So you keep giving them money every year. This bill is supposed to cure those anomalies.
All right, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, as beautiful and good as this bill sounds or looks, it has less than 3 weeks to be passed into law.
Many thanks, Ignatius. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Police Repeal and Reenactment Bill recently passed by the Senate failed to make it through second reading at the House of Representatives. House members observed that some provisions of the bill contradict some sections of the Constitution, among other areas that go against constitutional provisions are the appointment of the Inspector General of Police, number of Deputy Inspector Generals of Police, and appointment of States Commissioners of Police. The lawmakers have passed for second reading the Electric Power Sector Reform Amendment Bill, which seeks to prohibit the theft of electricity and vandalism of infrastructure in that sector. Overlapping responsibilities, increase in cost of governance, multiplicity of taxes, and conflict of rules are some of the challenges raised as the downsides to the establishment of Federal Task Force as another law enforcement agency in Nigeria. These concerns were raised at the public hearing by Senate Joint Committee on Finance, Culture and Tourism. National Assembly correspondent Omotola Omojola has more.
For and against the establishment bill had government agencies divergent in opinions, most of them querying duplicity of function and sustainability.
There are a lot of overlapping functions between the proposed task force and several law enforcement agencies and other regulators of the federal government.
Our concern is in the area of likely increase in recurrent expenditure.
It will lead to another layer of levy and multiplicity of taxation and charges.
There is no rationale for placing the control of the task force under the Immigration and Prison Services Board.
With intendment of going after revenue defaulters, intellectual property pirates, and national heritage protection, spokesman of the proposed task force is optimistic of the viability of the agency and its potential contribution to national treasury.
The Federal Task Force is going to create a job for 53,000 Nigerian youth, and we are in the virtue of contributing a minimum of 200 billion annually to the Nigeria IGR.
We are firmly in support of this laudable program because we know that it boosts employment.
The committee rose from the hearing promising thorough assessment of the bill for further legislative actions. From the National Assembly, Omotola Omojola, NTA News.
A public hearing on a bill to amend the Deep Offshore Act 2004 has revealed that the Nigerian Oil Production Sharing Contracts law is a magic wand that will prevent the country from borrowing to fund its budgets. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu has that one.
Section 16 of the Deep Offshore and Inland Basin Production Sharing Contracts Act 2004 provides a room for a review if the global price of crude oil at any time exceeds $20 per barrel. These players in the industry feel amending the bill will provide additional revenue to the government of the Federation and ensure that the production sharing contracts are economically beneficial.
These have been left undone since 1993 when this law was passed.
Despite a short-term increase in government revenue, more than $27 billion of currently planned deepwater investments would no longer be economically viable.
Members House Committee on Petroleum Upstream frowned at the inability by the Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, to make submissions on the bill and lack of political will to invoke the provision of the oil production sharing law.
We help to shore up our earnings from oil, cushion the economic hardship and ameliorate our burden of budget deficit.
Through the window of opportunity offered by amendments, we can respond to issues which was not necessary have been contemplated by the arts of the Parliament.
Suggestions were offered on the country's oil tax reforms within the period, provision of enabling environment and globally competitive fiscal system through collaboration between all stakeholders. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
This is Nationwide. Ruth in our Lagos Network Center is our guide today for stories from that zone. Hello, Ruth.
Hello, Lydia. Thank you and welcome to Lagos. Flight operations were uninterrupted at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in spite of the strike embarked upon by staff of the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority. Michael Olaleye reports that 4 air transport unions are in solidarity with the workers who are pressing for prompt action on issues affecting the authority's organogram, autonomy, as well as staff remunerations and welfare.
Reflecting an unusual atmosphere due to the strike embarked upon by the workers. Their demand, among other things, include implementation of a new organogram designed in 2016.
As I speak to you, there are over 50 assistant general manager offices that have been abolished under the new approved organogram, not to talk of deputy general managers and general manager offices.
We need a board for this agency. We don't see the need or the rationality in running to the ministry every time we need something to be done.
Although there are plans to address their grievances, the General Manager, Public Relations, is worried that the union did not follow due process.
For you to declare a lockout in trade dispute, you first of all give 21-day notice. If it is not resolved within that, you declare 14 days thereafter. But in this case, NCA management was given 7 days, by which there is no room to even look at what they are saying and take it up.
As at the time of filing this report, flight operations were uninterrupted, but however, there are some concerns.
There are operators who would have approached NCA classically to get clearance for flights. They can't get it because the department that is in charge of flight clearance is shut down.
The aggrieved workers are therefore appealing for prompt intervention from the federal government. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
Following the ever-increasing rate of insecurity in the country, the media and some civil society organizations have vowed to assist in the fight against crimes and criminalities in the society using their area of operation. Awal Yusuf Jibo reports that this was the consensus at a forum organized by the BBC Media Action in Lagos.
Issues of insecurity in the country have continued to be of concern to security agencies who are sometimes overwhelmed by the activities of these perpetrators. As a result, government organizations and even individuals have continued to make contributions to curbing this menace. This informed this BBC Media Action organized for relevant stakeholders.
think we are able to get to a point that there is going to be a synergy between the civil society and media professionals in discussing issues that border on security and justice reform. Yeah. So I think what we should be looking at is the outcome going forward.
Enhancing community policing, intelligence gathering and sharing among the various security agencies, as well as effective government policies were some of the major issues raised.
So if we can get the opinion of everyone, as well as the civil society groups and also the media, to the federal government, they can look at the key areas that are really, really important in security. Because we also have a say, the media, we do have a say because we represent the people.
It was, however, a general consensus that the media and the civil society organizations can work out modalities on how they can contribute their quota through write-ups, seminars and workshops.
We discovered that they have low investigative journalism. These are the people there are watching. They're supposed to be the watchdog. They're supposed to open, not only open the discussion, listen to the conversation, but working it out also.
Meanwhile, participants are advising security agencies to brace up and raise the standard of their professional conduct. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
Nigerian Television Authority Lagos Network Center has been honored at Rotary District 9110 Night of Friendship in Lagos for outstanding media coverage. The night was held to appreciate partners for their support and contributions to the various activities and projects of the district. Paul Omukagu has details.
Rotary International is reputed for its humanitarian and developmental services anchored on peace, conflict prevention and resolution, as well as disease prevention and treatment, among others. In making its impact felt, Rotary partners a number of organizations for funding and services rendered both locally and internationally. Consul General of Germany, Stefan Traumann, who spoke at the event, commended the district for the initiative, even as Germany prepares to host Rotarians at the 2019 convention.
The people are probably not as friendly as Nigerians are, although you can expect when you're traveling to Hamburg and to Germany that you will find friendly people and people who are eager to help you whenever you have a question, whenever you need some advice.
Apart from the fact that corporate organizations support us, media industry share with the responsibility of disseminating news and information about what is going on. And we found that over the years, we've been able to identify such organizations.
NTA Lagos Network Center was specially recognized for its developmental services and contributions to nation building.
This award will enable us and also help us to continue to do more in giving out robust and impactful media coverage of issues that affect humanity.
The event afforded partners the opportunity of interacting and sharing knowledge. In Lagos, Paul Omukagu, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Lagos. Back to media in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you, Ruth. The joint security operatives comprising the Army, Police, DSS and Civil Defense have arrested 20 suspects for different offenses in Sokoto and Sabonbirin in local government area of Sokoto State. Shehu Mohammed Dati was at the police headquarters where the team briefed the press.
20 suspects were arrested in Sabonbirin local government area of Sokoto State, suspected to be among those terrorizing people of the area. Other suspects were arrested at different places last week, and they are helping the operatives with useful information as investigations are still ongoing. The suspects were believed to be sneaking into Sokoto through border communities due to operatives' action in the neighboring states. The security operatives will continue tracking the nefarious activities of the bandits.
It's part of the measures for us to secure our border. Because once you have taken the security agents within the border, it means you are securing that place, nobody will enter. So that is why we can share information, and this is where we go. If any bad person, criminal doesn't know whether you are my person, he doesn't look at the face. He has a very common interest. So our borders are not porous at all.
Items recovered from the suspect include gun, axes, army uniform, Indian hymn, drugs, and items used as charms. The operatives encourage people to go about their normal businesses as safety and security of their lives and property is assured. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
Our next report from Lokoja says Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello has given traditional rulers, council heads, and security advisors 7 days to fish out perpetrators of the recent security crisis that engulfed some parts of the state or be removed. This followed a stakeholders security meeting at the Government House, Lokoja. Correspondent Solomon Aidehin has more.
The stakeholders meeting was convened to respond to the increasing spate of communal and herders farmers clashes in the state. The meeting, which was at the instance of the state government, was geared towards finding out the root causes of the clashes and possibly chart a way forward to the problems. Issues raised include providing an alternative grazing land for Fulani herdsmen, influx of strange armed Fulanis into some parts of the state, and the involvement of traditional rulers at ensuring peaceful coexistence.
You mentioned that some people have come to your communities and they are strangers. And I ask you, who have you told amongst the security agencies?
People should have respect for human life. We are taking the incident as a crime that is being committed, and we are investigating.
Governor Bello bemoaned the wanton killings and destruction of property arising from the crisis and warned against its escalation. He blamed the current crisis on politics, insisting that no political power is worth shedding human life for, assuring that the culprits will be apprehended and dealt with accordingly.
So if you think that you can be anywhere and incite crime or crisis against the innocent people, the citizens of Kogi State, or our visitors or passers-by, I will do everything within my reach to ensure that we unearth you, will bring you out, will expose you.
The governor therefore appealed for useful information from the public that could assist security agents in carrying out their duties. Governor Yahaya Bello has sworn in Justice Abdul Karim Arua as the new Grand Qadi of the State Sharia Court, with a charge on him to put the fear of God first and service to the people in the discharge of his duty. Solomon Ayedehin, NTA News.
In keeping with its motto, Onward Together, the Nigerian Navy is kickstarting its 63rd anniversary celebrations with a press conference to acquaint Nigerians with its operational achievements. Correspondent Naja'atu Tijani reports.
Many may not realize the extent to which the Nigerian Navy defends the territorial integrity of Nigeria. And now that it is set to acquire 2 new vessels, this will further enhance maritime security in the country. Expounding some of its operations and achievements to citizens, a part of activities marking the 63rd anniversary of the Nigerian Navy.
On Friday, we're going to have the Jumat prayers, while on Sunday, on Friday the 24th, on Sunday the 26th, we're going to have the church service, which is programmed to hold in all naval commands. The medical outreaches will be conducted in all Nigerian Navy commands. The last in the series of activities lined up for the Nigerian Navy 63rd anniversary is the ceremonial sunset and awards to deserving personnel. And this will take place at the Naval Dockyard Limited in Victoria Island, Lagos, on 1st June 2019.
The Nigerian Navy fleet's sea and air platforms, which are regularly rejuvenated to meet maritime threats, will be on display in various naval commands across the country. And civilians will be given the opportunity to board some of the many sea platforms in commemoration of the anniversary. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
Oyo State Police parades suspected criminals. Kemi is in our Ibadan Network Center with the details. Kemi.
Lydia, and a warm welcome to Ibadan. Enhanced advocacy by the Oyo State Police Command for effective community policing has continued to yield positive results in stemming the tide of criminalities in the state. Oyo State Police Commissioner Shina Olukolu made this known while briefing newsmen on achievements of the command, some of which he said were made possible through valuable tip-off from the public.
Public partnership with the police has been identified as key to successes in crime fighting in Oyo State. While appreciating cooperation from the people, Shina Olukolu warns residents sensitive to suspicious movements within their environment.
Okada riders are out there trailing both vehicular and individual persons. Once they observe such a situation, they should either use our emergency control room number or move quickly to the next police station.
The command attributed the arrest of about 30 suspects recently to the effectiveness of community policing. Some of these include the arrest of a gang of kidnappers and armed robbers, the arrest of an illegal armed dealer in Shaki town with 750 live cartridges was also made possible by tip-off, while another unregistered Toyota Corolla car was discovered in Ibadan with 2,750 live cartridges recovered from the vehicle. A 13-man group of alleged cultists from various higher institutions were also arrested while trying to initiate new members. The command, however, assured the people that it is better positioned to ensure security of lives and property through its various operational strategies.
9 inmates have regained freedom in Ijebu-Ode prison in the quarterly jail delivery exercise in prison formations in Ogun State. Correspondent Joel Popola reports that the Chief Judge of Ogun State, Justice Mosumola Dipeolu, noted that some of the inmates had no case to answer.
Ijebu-Ode prison, just like others in Ogun State, is dominated by 409 awaiting trial inmates and 109 convicted inmates, bringing the total figure to 518, which is a burden for the 322 inmate capacity prison. The Chief Judge of Ogun State, Justice Mosumola Dipeolu, observed that many inmates are in prison custody because of some administrative bottlenecks. Justice Dipeolu urged magistrates not to entertain any matter beyond their jurisdiction, as this is slowing the pace of justice delivery. After a thorough scrutiny, 9 inmates, including a twin, awaiting trial for an offense committed by his twin brother, regained freedom with an admonition to refrain from nefarious activities.
You'll observe that it is only the old cases, some of the old cases, that they have problems with. That shows us that the DPP's office is really working on solving the challenges they face.
Deputy Controller of Prison Ijebu-Ode, Mr. Olufemi Adebayo, said the jail delivery exercise will ease the constraints of prison congestion.
If they can be coming at intervals like this to free some of these people, they put us on less burden.
The stakeholders are expected to commence work ahead of the next jail delivery exercise. In Ijebu-Ode, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
Meanwhile, for Nigerians to move to greater heights, Nigerians must live in peace and harmony among themselves. This was part of a lecture at NTA Ibadan Are Aziz Arishekola Alao Memorial Ramadan Lecture held in Ibadan. Lukman Hassan has details.
The lecture pointed out that there can be meaningful development in the country in an atmosphere of peace and tranquility, hence the need for Nigerians to live peacefully. Muslims were reminded to be tolerant and exemplary in their ways of life and be role models in the society. While speaking on the life and time of late Are Muslumi of Yoruba land, identified as an accomplished man, Nigerians were therefore urged to be godly in their dealings.
We all should be one, do charitable acts, and worship Allah as He told us to worship Him, inshallah.
He was a kind person, very good, generous.
The late Are Arishekola Alao, this lecture started in his honor, and there he promised that every year, whether he is alive or not, that this lecture will be sponsored by him.
NTA Ibadan Ramadan lecture for this year has its theme as an accomplished personality on art. In Ibadan, Lukman Hassan, NTA News.
And that is our contribution from Ibadan. Nationwide continues in Abuja with Lydia.
Many thanks, Kemi. Moving on now, Governor Godwin Obaseki wants Nigerians, irrespective of religious divide, to pray for the peaceful coexistence of the nation. The governor was at the palace of the Ataru of Auchi, Alhaji Momo Kelebe III, to join the real father and other Muslims to break the Ramadan fast. Good luck, Enaini reports.
Since the inception of the present administration, the governor made it a point of duty to join Muslim faithful to partake in the Ramadan fast. This year's edition is not an exception, as the governor and some members of his cabinet were at the palace of the Otaru for the spiritual exercise. He wants Muslims in the country to use the period to intercede for the nation.
God has been very good to us as a people in Edo State. We've enjoyed a long run of peace, and we just hope and pray that that will continue.
The Otaru of Auchi, who is elated over the development, described the visit as an abundance of good pleasures, culminating into love.
It's good pleasure. That good pleasure develops into love. And if Almighty Allah loves you, the angels will love you, and mankind will love you.
Prayers were offered for Allah's wisdom upon the governor and leaders at the federal level. From Auchi, good luck, Enaini, NTA News.
It's time to take our first break on Nationwide. We will be back shortly. Don't go away.
The clock is ticking. It's the signal for the inauguration of the 16th President of Nigeria and 5th President in the 4th Nigerian Republic.
Nigerians are set to mark the beginning of the second term of Muhammadu Buhari as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The first term saw the most massive critical infrastructural development, agricultural revolution, war against corruption, tackling insecurity, and unprecedented social investment programs. Our opportunity to keep moving our country on the path to a prosperous future. It's the next level for the Nigerian people. This is our time as Nigerians. Come, let us celebrate the next level with Muhammadu Buhari, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Date, Wednesday, 29th May 2019. Venue, Eagle Square, Abuja. Time, 8 a.m. prompt. Roll out the drums. Come, let's celebrate.
Announcer Boss Gida Mustafa, Secretary to Government of the Federation and Chairman 2019 Presidential Inauguration Committee.
NTA Television College Jos announces admissions into 2-year diploma programs in film and television production, television engineering, and broadcast journalism. The sale of forms will commence on the 13th of May and run through 30th July 2019. Admission forms can be obtained from all marketing offices, NTA State Capital Stations, zonal centers, or at the office of the Academic Secretary, NTA Television College, Rayfield, Jos.
On payment of a non-refundable fee of 7,500 naira in bank draft in favor of NTA TV College. Applicants can also obtain the forms through the NTA TV College portal at www.ntatvc.edu.nj.
Applicants are required to possess 5 credits in GCE or SSCE in relevant areas of study in not more than 2 sittings, including English and mathematics. All properly completed forms attached with photocopies of credentials must be submitted on or before 30th July 2019. For further inquiries, please visit our website at ntatvc.com or call 0803 3144 383.
NTA TV College, training you to be the best you want to be.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
The 2019 Presidential Inauguration Committee invites the general public to the special Jumat prayers to mark the beginning of the second term of Muhammadu Buhari as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, scheduled to hold as follows. Date, Friday, 24th May 2019. Venue, National Mosque, Abuja. Activities include Quranic recitation, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., public lecture, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Guest speaker, Dr. Bashir Ali Umar, Imam Al-Furqan Mosque, Kano. Topic, Harnessing Our Diversity for Peaceful Coexistence and National Security. Special Jumat prayer, 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Venue, National Mosque, Abuja. Prayer to be led by Professor Shehu Hamad Saeed Galadanchi, the Murshid of the National Mosque, Abuja. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Announcer, Boss Mustafa, Secretary to the Government of the Federation and Chairman, 2019 Presidential Inauguration Committee.
Welcome back. Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika says the international wing of the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, initiated by the Buhari administration, will be ready in 2 months. The minister made this known while commissioning the new General Aviation Terminal and other projects at the airport. Mansour Aliyu Hassan reports.
Malam Aminu Kano International Airport is one of the beneficiaries of the over 150 projects in the aviation sector undertaken by the Buhari administration to revive the nation's airport to meet international standard. To this end, over 130 of such projects have successfully been completed, with many being inaugurated. This inauguration of the General Aviation Terminal at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport by the Minister of State Aviation Hadi Sirika is in line with the global best practice in the aviation sector, with a view to accommodate chartered aircrafts and process their air travel matters. The facility will equally complement the airport's overstretched domestic terminal due to increasing number of passengers.
In Kano, we've done a lot. A few of them, for example, under NIMET, we commissioned the regional office, which will serve the 7 northwestern states. Under AIB, we've also commissioned the AIB office, which will also serve this zone.
Other facilities installed at Makia include Instrument Landing System ILS, as well as the Very High Frequency Omnidirectional Radio Range, otherwise known as Doppler, which is a specialized radar to produce data about objects at a distance. In Kano, Mansour Aliyu Hassan, NTA News.
From the sharp decrease in food importation, particularly rice, to availability of fertilizers, improved seedlings, and access to funds by farmers, the Buhari administration has scored high in its determination to return agriculture to the front line of the nation's economy. This was the submission of guests on Good Morning Nigeria, NTA's current affairs program. Alika Okpanachi Arua reports.
The policy of Buhari administration in the last 4 years sought to reverse the neglect of agriculture over the years, which has made Nigeria an importer of agricultural products it can produce and even export. 4 years on, experts believe that agriculture has bounced back.
Yes, we've had growth, and we know clearly that Nigeria is talking very strongly about commercialization, which is really the area to go. But again, some of our worries remain that, number one, some of our varieties are not as high yielding as you would expect.
The only way we can address this is to remove the presentation of the budget as it concerns agriculture from the national budget, because agriculture is time-bound.
They, however, encourage the government at all levels to synergize and to create an enabling environment for more youth and small-scale farmers to adopt farming as a business.
First and foremost, the Anchor Borrowers Program is well articulated to take care of the farmers from the grassroots. All the farmers need to do is to just go and register with the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria.
National Land Agricultural Development Program. When you look at some of the questions that are coming out, people are beginning to ask about the security, about the storage, about mechanization, about airplane, about farmers markets.
They also stressed the need for more investments in mechanized farming, which can create value chain gains in the economy. In Abuja, Alika Opanachi, Arua, NTA News.
The federal government is targeting $11 billion profit from the commissioning of 19 grain silos in 19 states. 11 private firms are to manage the silos with a total capacity of 800,000 tons. Musa Baba Aliyu has details.
The government has successfully established 33 grain silos in 33 states of the Federation. The silos are 25,000 capacity, apart from 3 that are located in Abuja, Ekiti and Kebbi states that are built on 100,000 capacity. The government would require more than 90 billion naira to stock the silos with grains.
The budgetary provision of the ministry is far below what is expected to fill the entire silo complex, and that is why we are shifting ground to the private sector.
This therefore brought about the concession initiative, which was approved by the Federal Executive Council in September last year. 6 private firms to manage 13 reserves for the period of 10 years.
And if in the end some of you decide that you're going to work with outgrowers, please help them produce grains that are safe for consumption.
For the government to wake up to its responsibility in this regard and to put the silos to use and put public money that has been invested to use is commendable.
The turnover for the government is expected to hit more than 10 billion naira.
As part of the concession, the concessionaires for all these silos will pay 3.4 billion as fixed annual concession fees to government, and then there is 6 billion of profit share that will still come.
The government is keeping 6 silos with 250,000 tons capacity for her grain storage. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
NDLEA holds workshop on negative effects of drug abuse. Comfort in Enugu takes us through this and other reports from that axis.
Thank you, Lydia, and welcome to Enugu Network Center. Low socio-economic status, unemployment, early separation from parents and delinquent peer association have been identified as some of the contributing factors towards youth involvement in violent crime and illicit drug abuse. These were part of the submissions of experts while speaking on drugs, youth and crime. Chinyere Fesi Okoye reports.
Findings reveal that for several years now, Nigeria has been identified as one of the major drug trafficking hubs in the African continent. In the last decade, the nation is said to be a main transit route for cocaine being transported from Latin America to Europe, among other challenges. Worried by this anomaly, the Anambra State Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, is not resting on its oars as it has continued to organize a series of activities, including annual lectures, to inform and educate the populace on drugs and crime.
It's not just good for people to be saying there's drug here, there's drug there without reporting. There's a need for them to report to us so that we can address it.
Understanding that the impact of law enforcement agencies are important in designing intervention strategies towards checking the rate of illicit drug abuse, some concerned individuals, including royal fathers, maintain that collaborative effort is needed to achieve the targets. What is the perception of youths on drugs, youth and crime?
I'm not happy if I see youths taking drugs because some of them take it out of ignorance.
The general view is that effective prevention contributes significantly to the positive engagement of children, youths and adults within their families, schools, workplace and community. In Oka, Chinyere Fesi Okoye, NTA News.
2 bills seeking for a law to amend the law establishing the Enugu State University of Science and Technology. That of the law to authorize the issuance and appropriation of the sum of 70,185 million naira for capital and recurrent expenditure for the state have been passed into law at the floor of the Enugu State House of Assembly. Ijoma Ugweke reports.
Originally designed to be established as a multi-campus university, the Enugu State University of Science and Technology, Law Cap 74 revised laws of Enugu State 2004, seeks amendment to enable its site another campus at Nsukka. while some lawmakers threw their weight behind the amendment, noting that it will give the university opportunity to explore its potentials to the fullest, as different faculties will be established in the campuses and give the zone opportunity to grow economically. Others argue that the amendments should be left open to accommodate campuses in each of the 3 senatorial zones.
Section 4 of Cap 183 supplementary law of the Enugu State 2010, which amended the principal law in 2005, provided for the university to establish some other campuses or institutes or faculties as they deem necessary.
The bill, having received accelerated debate from the lawmakers, read the second and third times and thereafter passed.
The bill is hereby passed.
The House also adopted the Enugu State Social Protection Policy as a policy document after exerting its benefits to the state in Enugu. Ijomu Weke, NTA News.
And that was our contribution from Enugu. Is back to Lydia in Abuja for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Comfort. People who were often described as synonymous with street begging have been gainfully empowered to be self-reliant and even become employers of labor. This is because the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs is continuing with its engagement of women and youths in the region through a series of training programs and empowerment initiatives. Joseph Johnson, who is just back from the South, reports on this and other projects inaugurated by the Minister Usani.
Every journey, they say, starts with one step. Sas Gambo has been managing this makeshift wheelchair for more than 20 years now. Although for him, this might not look like a literal step, but today he is certainly stepping it up a notch and off to a new start. He is not alone in this new chapter, though. His friends, who are also physically challenged, farmers and tellers in Calabar, all gathered here, got empowered.
Say my level don't act. I feel I enter anywhere I went. I thank the federal government first. Then second, I would like them to continue to remember the physical challenge like that.
So whatsoever thing we do is to promote the policy of government and make sure that it is not in any way isolated from the livelihoods of people.
While Sachs got his groove back, about 40 others in Ikorekpene local government area of Akwa Ibom State graduated in confectionaries and beads making and were given 300,000 naira each as starter packs to begin their journeys as certified entrepreneurs.
With the little that I've learned here, I'm very thankful. I will be able to practice it every day and make sure I gain out of it.
Meanwhile, this is a group of potential beneficiaries of this 30 units housing estate in Bakassi local government area of Cross River State. The inauguration kickstarts the process of handing over the houses to occupants, and the gesture is expected to improve the living standard of displaced persons in the community. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Felicia in Jos is next on our lineup. Hello, Felicia.
Media, welcome to Jos. To step up its fight against all forms of crime as directed by the Inspector General of Police, the Plateau State Police Command has officially launched the Police Special Unit Code named Operation Puff Adder. Ben Mitu reports that the Plateau State government pledged its commitment to provide the enabling environment for the smooth operation of the unit.
Operation Puff Adder was recently launched by the Acting Inspector General of Police to tackle emerging crimes in some states of the Federation, including Plateau State. The state government assured security agencies of maximum support.
It is a call to duty and is a reflection of the confidence the police force has in you. I want to assure you that the Plateau State government will be with you as you take off this project.
To the police, it is time to bring crime to its knees with a pledge that Operation Puff Adder is combat ready.
The command appeals for support, cooperation, understanding, collaboration,
of other security and law enforcement agencies in the state, as well as members of the public, for the continuous success of this operation.
Operation Safe Haven will support entirely to ensure that Operation Puff Adder succeeds on the Plateau.
We in the media will give 101% cooperation.
I want to assure you that we are ready, willing and able to at all times support the police.
With the assurances of cooperation from all key players, it is expected that Operation Puff Adder will succeed in Jos. Ben Mitu, NTA News.
The 8th annual Ramadan Symposium, organized by Jigbe's National Youth Preaching Committee, is focusing on educating Muslim youth on the dangers of illicit drugs and its implication on nation building. Abba Abubakar Yakubu has the details.
The 8th edition of the Ramadan Symposium, organized to create awareness and enlightenment to Muslim youths on their responsibilities and how to correct some wrongdoing before, during, and after the fasting period.
Our main aim is to see that our youth become good people who will build the nation.
Professor Musa Babatanko of the University of Jos, who presented a lecture on youth and dangers of drug abuse, said the menace has permeated every strata, causing serious problem to socio-economic activities of the nation. Some medical practitioners who commended the organizers for the choice of topic, which they believed will help in finding solutions and guidance against drug abuse and addiction.
We have to be reminding people just the way we remind us about our duties in Islam. This has to be done constantly. This is a dangerous trend, especially in an economy that is growing, because there is no economy that will grow that is populated by drug addicts.
The theme for this year's symposium is the role of youth in nation building. In Jos, Abba Abubakar Yakubu, NTA News.
Entrepreneurship, financial discipline, and prudent management of resources have taken center stage at the second edition of the Plateau Youth Council Leadership Summit. The summit has as theme Strategic Leadership, Pathway to Sustainable Development in Plateau State. The report. The summit is to further expose participants with the requisite knowledge to be better entrepreneurs, nation builders, as well as business leaders. This is anchored on the belief that they are the classes of persons needed in the nation space to boost its economy.
For Nigeria, I think what is more important for us now is this concept of strategic leadership. It talks about sustainability of leadership efforts so that in the long run, you can have sustainable growth and development.
The government, on its part, is optimistic that the summit will provide participants the forum for the exchange of best practices.
This will no doubt build formidable high network collaborations, engender mutually beneficial and effective multi-stakeholder partnerships, capable of causing reorientation and strengthening the approach to the leadership and management system in Plateau State for sustainable development.
Panel of discussants were unanimous in suggesting that concerted efforts be made to build human capital.
Presently, the economies and countries that have moved forward found a place in human capital building, which is why they have solidified on the way forward.
Group discussion as well as question and answer session featured at the summit. Thus, our contribution from Jos is back to you, Lydia, for more on Nationwide.
Many thanks. Still to come on Nationwide, we now take the commercials break. Nigerian Television Authority has signed a memorandum of understanding with Metronet Communication Limited to support the media outfit with its rich content gathered over the years. Tamara Ibiwe reports.
A memorandum of understanding signed by the Nigerian Television Authority signals the commencement of a partnership that will see NTA feed Metronet Communications Limited with a rich content from the archives, as she prides herself as the largest television network in Africa.
You can be in the same market, you can be in the same business and still have a very healthy competition. And you still work together and learn from each other.
As a new and budding television station, is to partner with the largest television network in Africa, that's the NTA, and collaborate, especially in the areas of content sharing, so that we can be able to build on the experiences of NTA.
The Jos-based Unity Television is a free-to-air channel on StarTime's platform. In Abuja, Tamara Ibiwe, NTA News.
Weather report is next. And that's it on Nationwide. Thank you for watching. Do have a pleasant evening. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. Bye for now.